Hello guys and welcome back to CareerQ, a place to curate your career. You will be very happy to know that we are starting a new segment in CareerQ which is known as Quote Your Career. In this segment, we will be calling some very specific people who have actually turned their career into a path that they wanted to. This will not actually be only related to IT because we will be trying to expand to different sectors as well, trying to call different people to know more about how we can build our careers in the different domains or different places that are there existing in the society. But in any case, we will be bringing some very special guests with us and you will be getting to know all about how they made their careers, and this will in turn help you go or follow a way in which you can make your career as well. We have our first guest over here with us and let's get started. Let's get to know him very much. He is also one of my dear friends from college, and I'm really excited to meet him because I have not met him since a long time, because he is not in India. That is the major problem. This man has left India some 2 to 3 years back and he has not yet come back. Let's get to know more about it from him. So hi Rohit, and to all my audience, Rohit has been a very dear friend and a close friend since college, and now he is not in India, and we have not met since this COVID pandemic has started. So that is one grudge that I hold against Rohit, that he has not met me since a long time.
Right.
But here we have him, and yeah. So Rohit, first tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce you to our audience.
Right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Jagupta. Yeah, it's been what, like 2 years, I think we have met, and I
Yep.
promise to make it up to you soon. So yeah,
Definitely.
Yes. I'm Rohitashwa Chakravarti. I am currently working as a data scientist at Walmart, specifically with their like computer vision team. Uh, so prior to this, I did my bachelor's from IIEST Shipur. Then I worked with PwC for like 2 years, gained experience in consulting. After which I went for my master's in business analytics, and then I switched joined as a data scientist, and I switched into from consulting to retail sector and like data science track, and that's the career track that I wish to pursue. Yeah.
Okay. So you said that you have first gone to college, then you had some experience in the, working field, and then again
Consult.
you went back to college.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
how difficult it is to actually, make these kind of transitions from a student to a working professional and then getting back as a student. Is it difficult or how is it?
So it is a little challenging, yes. So the first time when you start working, when like after undergraduate, when you start working, you you're used to like a student lifestyle, and like all that you deal with are just assignments and stuff, right? The
Right.
stakes are much lower over here. Like when you start working, the expectations from you suddenly increase a lot. Like suddenly people are actually treating you as adults, and you're responsible for work, unlike professors who just treat us like school children even in college.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely like a huge shift. And honestly, my time with PwC, it was very rewarding because my manager, he actually gave me a lot of responsibilities right off the bat. Like I was not like I didn't like, unlike a lot of my peers, I didn't really have like a bench period or like a time to familiarize myself with the processes. I was like, within the second week I was assigned and onboarded to a project. So like he kind of kickstarted my journey, which was great. And yeah, 2 years working for a consulting firm, you obviously learn a lot. It's like constant like learning and everything. um it was really nice. I got into the whole rhythm of things. Earning money is definitely a huge positive.
Yeah.
uh yeah. And then I planned to pursue my masters. And obviously the first thing was, yeah, I did my masters in UT Austin. And a different country, my income obviously stopped. So like now I did not have that much a constant source of income. I had to rely on my funds
Mhm.
and whatever money my parents sent me.
Right.
So yeah, again
Cutting
back to
back on a lot of things.
yes, again back to budgeting and thinking about managing money.
Mhm.
Also about like so my course, the master's course, it's it's actually 36 credits in 10 months, and the usual time frame for 36 credits is 2 years. So it's like the same amount of workload crushed into 10 months. So it was
Okay.
really intensive.
Super
Like
intense.
every
Right.
week we had about 3 assignments and 2 projects and like a presentation and everything. So it was really crazy. Like, yeah. So it was difficult. Yeah,
Mhm.
like getting back to that sort of a routine where like one thing when you're like working is that usually just have to you have to worry about your work during the weekdays. At least the weekends are free, you can
Yeah,
relax. But when you're a student, you can't do that because you have
correct.
assignments pending and everything.
Right.
So that was horrible. Not earning money was horrible. Having to like think about everything and like assignments and everything. It was really like stressful and very intense, very hectic. And of course, like in US, you don't have campus placements, so you had to look for your own job using LinkedIn and everything. That was
Mhm.
very, very exhausting. But at the end of it, now that I'm back working, I think yeah,
It's all worth it.
this is definitely better. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
yeah,
let's go back to your time while you were working in
right,
PwC.
right.
So you got placed in PwC via your campus placements, right?
Yes. So in my third year, I got an internship opportunity,
Okay,
which got converted for a full-time offer. So yeah,
that's
so
nice.
that was very chill. That was very chill,
Yeah,
actually.
that is actually really good. So, if you could actually tell us more on how you got the internship, okay, how you prepared for that internship, such that you got it and then it converted into a PPO.
Right. So honestly, like I have been asked this question before, like when we were in college also, but my
Mm-hmm.
answer is honestly not that informative. It's like a pretty hilarious answer. So my interviewer, he did not actually ask me any technical questions. Like he had my resume and everything, in which it clearly said that I was a IT student and everything. I think he must have just asked me like one question, and I remember it was, what is the difference between a pointer and a normal variable, right? Which is
Okay.
like if like in comparison to like like if you have to grade that question, it's like a very
Yeah.
baby level question for a
Yeah. Yeah.
third year kid to
Correct.
ask, right? So that is all he asked me. And apart from that, he just asked me a lot of like what you would call behavioral questions.
Okay.
So that was interesting, because nothing technical, all behavioral. And yeah, and pretty we basically ended up having a nice conversation for like 30-40 minutes. It was, I think, by far the longest interview that any of our peers had,
Mm-hmm.
because it was a conversation with chatting. um, and then yeah, I got the internship offer. In the internship, we were all like paired with different teams. And the final ask of the internship was like after the end of like 2 months or 3 months, you have to do a presentation on like whatever product you've built. So I was working with the team. I had to build like a chatbot to answer like FAQ, like to convert the FAQ section of a website or company to a
Mm-hmm.
chatbot, right?
Okay.
Which when you can just like enter whatever statement you want, like a full sentence. And like it gives you the it's as if like you're talking to another person and not like a menu driven chatbot. And I was able that was a it was successful. Like my program was successful. And I had to give a presentation in front of like a couple of partners, and they really grilled me about it. But the presentation went well, and 3-4 weeks later I heard that I got the offer for full-time placement. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the most like pivotal interview that I gave was actually the presentation and not the internship presentation. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing is, at least like for consulting, the only advice that I would have is it is definitely important that you're good technically, but you need to be well-rounded, and you also need to work on your soft skills.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, one more thing. When you were working in PwC,
Mhm.
did your job role actually influence the stream that you chose further to, do your masters with? Did it influence at all? Like you are pursuing a higher degree on that, what you did as a job when you were in your job, or did it? Is it something that got
All
actually it
right.
was something completely opposite and you chose
Yeah.
because you want to run away from it?
Yes. So yeah, it's actually the second one. I like since
Okay.
my third year. Yeah, since my third year, I like so before college, like even well into college, and like a lot of people who know what they want to do with their career, who
Right.
have an idea and a plan. I had nothing, right? Like
Mhm.
my plan
Like
was
most of
literally like
us.
yeah, exactly. Like my plan, even in fourth year, like in December or fourth year, I was planning that I'll graduate, I'll work for a couple of years, do MBA, and see where life takes me.
Oh, okay.
General,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
general
Hmm.
direction everyone takes. And but I think somewhere in the middle, after working on that internship project, I got really interested in like data science. And so I
Okay.
spent a lot of time in my fourth year actually studying and reading up about the subject. And that is when I decided that I wanted to pursue a career in data science. Right,
Mm-hmm.
masters was still not in the like picture. I thought
Mm-hmm.
I'd like just switch companies to like get a data science job. And when I joined, like it was actually in like we graduated in what, May
Yeah,
2020 in 2019. Yeah, it
2019.
was actually in January of 2019 that I actually decided that I want to do a master's, and I'll do
Okay.
it like a master's abroad. And like that's when I actually thought about it. But yeah, the job my job description in PwC was that of a like technical consultant. It was primarily like software development. I was working on .NET and like developing cloud solutions and everything. um, and I knew that that is not what I want to do. I wanted to be a data scientist, and I tried to switch in between the company. I really loved my job in the company, but I just realized like I would not be able to progress in my desired career trajectory that I want for myself, and that is
Hmm.
why I switched. And masters, yeah, like so interestingly, actually, like before like I actually came, I was
Hmm.
also recruiting a couple of companies, and I actually had an offer to join in Accenture as a data scientist.
Oh.
But but I rejected that, and I came for my masters because um like like the like undergraduate degree, I wanted the exposure, and also
Hmm.
like to this course, masters in business analytics from UT Austin, is like has been rated like number top 3 top 4 consistently in QS World rankings when it comes to business analytics courses.
Right.
So I really like was looking forward for that exposure. And yeah.
What was actually the steps that you took to, transform
Yes,
this dream into reality? Like there were some exams, or you took some extra prep classes, or, uh,
all right.
yeah.
Okay, so for this, my prerequisites were GRE and TOEFL.
Hmm.
GRE is it's an exam for like it's a normal exam which gives you scores, and that serves as the basis for your application. And TOEFL is like an English proficiency test. So the timeline was something like in January I decided I wanted to do masters, so I immediately like I bought a test prep plan. Like I scheduled my GRE exams for end of July, no, end of June, right? We graduated in May, 1.5 months. Yeah. So yeah. So basically from May to June end, I prepared for GRE,
Okay.
and I took my GRE. I got a pretty nice score, fortunately, and then I started like looking at colleges and everything. And in the meantime, parallelly, I was also like preparing for like TOEFL. Like once you've done GRE, I would recommend like anybody who's trying to do GRE and TOEFL, take GRE first and then do TOEFL like a week or two later. Because if you've aced GRE, TOEFL is going to be a piece of cake, right? Like
Okay.
if you prepare yourself for GRE verbal section, TOEFL is a piece of cake. And then like and the process of choosing colleges for me was basically first you see like what do you want to do your masters in, then you go do research, and like you see what are the good universities,
Right.
and then you see like what are the courses that these universities offer, like
Mhm.
what will you be learning, and then you take a call. Like there are a lot of factors which come in, but like these are the important ones. It's not like India where like you have quality only in like one or two colleges,
Right.
right? So over here it's far more even, and like you need to know like like maybe, so even in MSBA, I wanted like something a little more technical, so I chose this. If I wanted something more like data sciencey, I may not have chosen UT Austin. But then there are other factors also which come into play, which is like return on investment and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of factors govern like how to choose a college, but it
Right.
starts with what do you want to do, and why do you like what and why do you want to do it, and what do you want to learn from it, like what are your end goals, and that determines your thing.
Hmm.
And you talked about test, like any classes and stuff. I did not take any coaching or classes,
Okay.
but I did subscribe to this one place called
Okay.
Magoosh Prep plans, and that I found was very helpful. They have like it's basically like a question bank, and it's very helpful. And yeah,
Nice. So I'll put the link down in the
yeah,
description box and somewhere on the
yeah,
screen so that our audience gets benefited with, and they also check it out,
yeah.
because it is definitely helpful. Tell me that you, after landing, what were your first struggles to, settle in a foreign place? Because English and everything in place, college in place. However, like, did you get your own hostel, or were you living outside with a PG? And how did you
Right.
manage initially?
So the first struggle was navigating the New York airport. Okay, we had three suitcases, and a
The struggle
laptop bag.
started at the airport itself.
Yes, we had three suitcases,
Okay.
uh, bags, and I don't remember a lot of stuff, right? And
Mhm.
we could barely like take care of everything. And we land over there, and we realized that we have to pay $5 to get a cart.
Okay.
जो इंडिया में what we get for free in India, we have to pay $5 for that, right?
Huh.
Or a 15-minute transit from like one corner of the terminal to the other one. So that is where the struggle started. Paying $5 for the first study. Then we landed. Then like yeah, our planes got delayed or cancelled because it was still COVID stuff.
Mm.
So like airlines were not like up to like
Right.
their usual potential. So like yeah, it was crazy. My phone was not working because of the network incompatibilities and stuff. So it was very
Right.
crazy. But the rest of it was pretty like we had planned it out pretty well because we had time. So like the apartment was sorted. We did not get a hostel. We had to
Mm.
end up taking like I was sharing with another like course mate. I was sharing
Okay.
an apartment with another course mate close to campus, and yes, apartment was set. Fortunately, we were able to deliver our stuff, some of the stuff to the apartment. Unfortunately for me, my bed and mattress hadn't arrived, so I had to look for like like a hotel accommodation and
Mm.
yeah and like yeah so the first couple of days were kind of like difficult,
Difficult. Yes.
and yeah, just like the settling down part was difficult, and like also like when you're here you're converting everything from INR to USD,
Right.
and that's like a multiplier of 80. So like even
Mm.
like over here, like the cheapest meal you can find, like a cheapest like decent meal is $7, which is almost 560 plus 600
Right.
rupees, which is like as a student spending 600 rupees for
On one meal.
for one meal is you can't.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was pretty hard. Yep. And but yeah, gradually got used to everything. And another part was like we unlike other years where you can come to US like 14 days before your class starts, so you get 14 days to settle down.
Mm-hmm.
We could not do that. We
Mm.
literally, because of COVID and everything, we literally landed on fourth, and I think from fifth our classes started. So like
Mm-hmm.
it was it was crazy, yeah. But yeah, eventually got used to it, and then the assignments and all came, so like that took up all the like the stressing point, this all the stress and everything got diverted to the like
Okay.
fine, I guess I'll just starve then, fine. At least I need to
Nice.
complete my assignments.
First things, like US is now being said to be in recession a lot,
Yeah.
and we can see actually the impact. We are hearing about these firings happening almost everywhere. So being there, how much do you think it is actually affecting the daily people, and how many cases do you hear on daily basis?
Right. So it is scary, and the worst part is like because of the global economy being interconnected, US is more like the leader in this recession. We're
Mhm.
gonna feel after effects across the whole world,
Yeah,
right? Including India and stuff. I know India also had lots of mass firings
lots.
recently. Yeah. Yeah, so it is pretty scary. Like yeah. But one thing you will notice is that most of the firings are from tech companies, tech giants, and and it's a weird phase. Like at one point you see tech giants firing so many people. I'm not including Twitter because that's a different story
Yeah,
altogether. Yeah.
correct.
But you also see so many like startups and like middle companies, like companies which are not that big, they're still hiring. And
Mhm.
the recession so far, fortunately, like touch wood, has been restricted or localized to the tech industry, right? Like Amazon had a mass layoff,
Yeah.
but Amazon is not really it's not even an e-commerce. Like the sections of Amazon which actually laid off a lot of people was Alexa and like the research wing and everything, which is completely like the tech side. And
Mm.
and like Amazon's Amazon is a good example. Like they are laying off a lot of people, but it's like not really their core business which is getting affected, because if you see most of them, like I said, were from Alexa and like other like peripheral business units. The main business, the maximum like business revenue earner for Amazon is AWS. You don't hear
Mm-hmm.
about people
Right.
getting fired from AWS.
Right.
Similarly, with Google, you hear about firings from the peripheral, like, business units, not really their main business. Like, it's usually it's the first thing which is getting fired is obviously going to be the research and like, the the cost drains, like, the,
Right.
yeah, like research centers which have lower like profit, profitability. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know
Okay.
the correct financial terms, but yeah, you get the
No
idea.
issues.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So, but we can say that the tech sector, but they are facing a recession. However, not the entire
definitely.
space. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least that's what it seems over here. A
Mhm.
lot of people got fired, but like like all of us, like we just joined the industry, like, and all of many of my friends also joined, like Facebook and Meta, and sorry, Meta and other places.
Okay.
Their teams and the teams around them, those divisions are safe,
Okay.
right? Like I know Facebook did a lot of like layoff, but it
Yeah.
was, I think, mainly on their HR side.
Hmm.
That is what I heard. Like I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but yeah.
No, no, not an
Yeah,
issue. So
yeah,
we can say that, yeah, if you are a high earner and if you are in the research and or a recruiter or HR, those kind of jobs are majorly getting affected. But if you are someone who's doing their work with full honesty, then even if you are and
yeah,
you are in the central, some
yeah,
central unit, business unit,
yeah.
then you are safe. We can say
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Of course, now these days, I don't know if you're aware, but there is a buzz in India, at least, that, data science is the only thing that you can get into. And, everywhere people are just like, they have to learn DSA, the freshers, people in college, they are more concerned with learning data structures than anything. And because they want to get into these tech giants, Microsoft, Google, and those kind of jobs. So, being there, how much do you think that it is important? And is it that only people who know more of, DSA, only those can get placed, or there are other streams or other technologies also that can take them there? What are your views on this?
So, yeah, like when we were in college, people were going crazy about data structures and algorithms,
Yeah.
right? It's always been like a very important thing. Like, I remember like a lot of people in our college who are like used to like, just grind through a lot of these paid services for like learning
Right.
data
Then
structure and
that is
algorithms.
being continued till date, and there
Yeah,
are more and more courses are being launched almost every day.
yeah, yeah. So personally, I never did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy with where I am in my life right now.
Correct.
And yeah, and I feel like, I have never like bothered to like learn every graph algorithm out there, or like, every implement all like three algorithms. Like if you tell me how to implement like a breadth first search, I will, I probably can do it, but I won't do it like, in like 5 minutes. Like somebody else might do it in 5 minutes. I'll probably take like 10 minutes. So like the way I have always looked at it is, it is important. Obviously, you can't get around with that. But what I feel that a lot of people end up doing is like, they're learning it for the sake of like, for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they end up mugging it, right?
Right.
So if in the interview they ask them like, what is, can you implement traveling sales? Sorry, not traveling sales, but can you implement like Dijkstra's algorithm? They will give it to you in like, 5 seconds, like 5 minutes. They'll like code out the whole thing. But given an obscure problem statement, they will
Mm-hmm.
not be able to like, put it in perspective. Like they won't know ki yahan, over here, if I implement Dijkstra, it will give me the best solution, right? So people, there are a lot of the emphasis is on learning the algorithms. It's not actually about understanding the algorithm. And honestly, yes, there are multiple coding interviews where like, you don't have the luxury to like think about and then write down the algorithm by yourself. You need to know it offhand. But in the long run, the understanding part is more important. If you're like having an interview with a person and you can actually walk them through your thinking process of how you came up with an algorithm, instead of just like, spitting out an algorithm, that is more important. Because you also need to understand, like, nobody is actually one is whether or not you know how to invert a binary tree is useless, right?
Right.
It's just for a question in the interview. You're never going to be using it. But what is important is like you understand the concept so that you can use a variant of the concept in something else, right?
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically I'm saying like it is super important because like I interviewed for a data scientist role, right?
Right.
I actually actively, that's like I did not want a software engineering role, but I
Mhm.
ended up having to like like learn a lot of these algorithms for my interviews. So like even for a data scientist role in which your prerequisites are basically math, stats, a little bit of like Python and ML. Over there also you are also expected to know software development because you also have to think about time complexity and space complexity in the interview,
Right.
in the online assessment. So it's very important, but it's more important to like understand it and not like by heart the solutions. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that is actually linking to my next question. So, when you were giving these interviews,
Hmm.
was there a focus on these questions? And like, was it only like they are focusing on these type of questions, or if and when you prepared for these, do you have any materials or some places that you referred or you learned? Because as you said, you learned the concepts and then you're utilizing it for different scenarios.
Right.
So, is there some place that actually teaches the concepts rather than, just picking up, one thing and providing a solution for that? Uh,
Right. So so for me the story is a little different, like because
okay.
a lot of the people who are like actually doing this want to get into tech giants. They want to be
Mhm.
software engineers, SWEs and everything, SDEs and SWEs. I'm a completely like different like trajectory data scientist. So the I am expected to know software development basics, but the expectations are not that harsh. That being
Mhm.
said, I did have to like depending on the companies I recruited with, they did ask me a lot of like software development style
Right.
questions. They
Yeah.
were difficult to solve. Like yeah. So for me, most of my preparation was actually from like Medium blogs
Okay.
because most of my preparation was for like data science and not DSA. For DSA, I found like Geeks for Geeks is a very useful tool. There's some people who like really write informative blogs. YouTube is a very good source.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and I actually ended up taking sharing a subscription for this thing called Lead Code. Yeah, I did take a subscription for Lead Code to practice like like software like coding in Python because
Mhm.
I was more from C sharp and yeah. So yeah, Lead Code is a wonderful place to like learn, um, and it also has like blogs and stuff which explain the concept. But I mean, yeah, you just need to keep digging around the internet till you actually finally understand the concept. Like there's no like one-stop shop for everything.
Right. The job role that you interviewed for and that you are into.
Right.
So is there enough scope in the market? Because, we really are knowing that, data analysts and data scientists, they have they have the brightest of future. So is it that 10 years down the line, only these jobs will be there or they will be dominating the market, or even the legacy softwares that are there, the legacy tools or technologies that people have been following, they will also coexist? How do you find the market will?
For example, I don't know if you are like familiar with it. Have you heard of this new GitHub feature called GitHub Copilot?
I have
So
heard, I've not used.
yeah, so GitHub Copilot is actually very amazing. It's like you type in a comment, right? You just
Mhm.
write like you write a comment like say write a function to fetch the temperature, right? And it will auto generate the function,
Okay. Oh,
right? It is I have used it. I use a free version of it, free trial. I have used it. It is mind blowing. It is insane, and it is also scary.
Mm-hmm.
And like at times when you look at these things, you might think like, oh my god, like what happens to like software developers? AI is going to take over software development roles. Now you have Chat GPT 3 and everything. Like AI is going to take over Painter here. Like the thing is, yeah, there is this fear, like that AI is going to take over everything else, right? You're not going to have jobs. But the truth is, if you see history, it's like a new technology never takes over anything completely. It just supplements it. It
Correct.
increases your
Correct.
potential,
Yeah.
right? So 10 years down the line, software developers will probably have a much different role, or like will have much greater capacity to do stuff because they will be augmented with AI, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I don't think
Absolutely.
software development, or like knowing front end development and all these things, I don't think they're gonna disappear anytime soon, or like I don't think they're gonna disappear. You're always
Correct.
gonna have those jobs. Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely. I think about the same, and I do keep saying these things on my videos. I don't know
Yeah.
how many people actually follow them. So, yeah, that is all that I have. Thank you, Rohit. It was so nice meeting you after so long,
It was
virtually,
my
Saeed.
pleasure. Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure, of course. And yeah, so I would like to ask you, are you anywhere, where you can help our audience? Can our audience reach out to you at any platform? And, so that if they have any further doubts, concerns, then
Right.
they can, get up with you, chat with you, or maybe connect with you via some means.
Right.
So, yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It is like, I'm honestly very, very like honored that of all your friends, you actually chose to reach out to me. So that means a lot to me. Thank you. Uh, and second is, yeah, like, they can definitely hit me up on LinkedIn. I recently just launched the topmate.io, but all the
Yeah.
services are free. So like, yeah, they can, like, I don't want
I
students to pay anything. So yeah, you can just look
that
it up.
that is actually a very good initiative, and I'll post both the links down in
Yeah.
the description box for all our audience. If you want to connect with Rohitashwa, he's available on LinkedIn as well as on topmed.io, so you can reach out to him if you have some queries on your career, at least related to data scientists. And of course, he can help you with that. Or if you want to study abroad, he can help you with that as well, because he is pretty experienced on that field. If anyone wants some help in their GRE, TOEFL, or selecting colleges, maybe that also Rohit can help. And yeah,
Yep,
that's
absolutely.
about it. Thank you, Rohit. You've been really helpful to me, to our audience, everyone. And of course, guys, if you like this video, please put a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And yes, do
No,
follow,
seriously. Yeah.
go to Rohitashwa for any requirements.
Yeah.
And he's not on Instagram or any other social media. So these are the only two places you can reach out to him,
Yeah.
which is pretty sad, I know. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all that I
Right.
have. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you once again. And
Yeah.
hopefully, we'll meet soon.
Yes, hopefully. Thank you so much for having me. And
Yeah,
honestly, thank you for like, doing all this. This is like pretty amazing stuff that you're doing. Yeah. Keep it up. All the best.
my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.